While The Exorcist is generally remembered and talked about for its slightly silly head-spinning, projectile vomit and crucifix masturbation shenanigans, the key thing that really sets the film above most other horror movies is its more artistic and subtle side, its use of subliminal communication, and its sneaky implications about story events that we don't see. For example, Reagan desecrating the statue with her art materials from the household basement is never shown or stated. We have to connect the dots ourselves. Same goes for the death of Burke Dennings. The implications that Reagan killed him are more psychologically effective than if the act had actually been shown. Those two plot points aren't exactly difficult to figure out, but there are other ways in which the film hints at hidden events and hidden meanings. So I'm going to show you 6 examples to help you get started exploring the film more deeply the next time you watch it. First up, the location jumping crucifix. In the lead up to the famous crucifix masturbation shocker scene, Reagan's mother Chris finds the crucifix under Reagan's pillow and starts asking the servants if they put it there. Then she's distracted by the lieutenant paying a visit. So she leaves the cross on this table near the stairs. We then get a long and disarming dialogue sequence, and when the lieutenant leaves, Reagan immediately flips out, sexually self-harms with the crucifix, and reveals to her mother that she killed her mother's friend Burke Dennings. But aside from the shock of the scene, how did the cross make its way back upstairs? We can see here that it's no longer in the place where Chris left it. So unless the cross magically made its own way back upstairs, Reagan must have snuck down and retrieved it. But Chris and the lieutenant were down here all this time, and they never heard a thing. Next up, the hidden clay sculpture. Lieutenant Kinderman finds this green chunky object stuffed under a clump of grass where Burke Dennings' dead body was found after he'd been thrown from Reagan's window. Though it's easy to assume this might be the little demon Pazuzu carving found by Merrin at the beginning of the movie, it's clearly a different shape. From what I can tell, it's a clay moulding of a 2-legged dinosaur, hence the colour green. Reagan has clay animals in the house, which Kinderman looks at specifically. And Reagan had pictures of 2-legged dinosaurs in her craft area too. According to historical literature, the demon Pazuzu is also a part serpentine entity with a snake for a penis and lizard scales on its human body. So the green dinosaur sculpture, if that's what it is, appears to be a calling card by the demon killer. We could assume it fell from the window with Dennings when he was thrown, but the chances it would make it all the way down the steps intact and bury itself deeply in the grass are very unlikely. So like with the moving crucifix, how did it get there? Maybe Reagan snuck out the house in the night right after she killed Dennings and buried the sculpture next to his dead body. Or maybe she placed it there in advance, knowing she was going to kill him. Adding to the mystery, the finding of this object doesn't happen in a novel or script. Number 3, Reagan's creepy photos. Never mind the possessing demon, her mother has very weird taste in family photography. Can you imagine waking up to this picture in the middle of the night? Why is Reagan clasping her hands over her mouth, and why the intense glare? It might just be a subliminal to plant the seed of fear in us about Reagan. A similar image of dark and serious Reagan is very briefly shown on a magazine cover about the family breakup, her mother being a movie star under press scrutiny. Even stranger is that in the hypnosis scene, her mother clasps her hands over her own mouth in this shot in a way that precisely mimics the photo of Reagan behind her. Weird, eh? Number 4, the Pazuzu statue lurking in the bedroom. Though we see an obvious image of the Pazuzu statue in the exorcism scene, that same statue is also present midway through the film when Chris finds Reagan's window open in the middle of the night. Now the 2 sneaky images I'm going to show you here are only present in one of the 3 released edits of The Exorcist, so your copy of the film may not have them. The first is a flash of light in the shape of the demon's face as Chris opens the bedroom door. Here it is in slow motion. And the second can be seen left screen when Chris leaves the room. Hey, it's Pazuzu waving hi. There is a more commonly noticed demonic face a minute earlier in the kitchen, but personally I thought that one was too obvious, which defeats the point of subliminal communication. Number 5, the witch and the big bad wolf. Among Reagan's pinned up images in the basement there's an image of the big bad wolf dressed as grandmother, a clue about Reagan being already possessed by an invading demon. And there's Hansel and Gretel talking to the witch at her house made of candy. I wonder if it was deliberate here that the witch and Reagan are clothed in the same shade of blue. And number 6, you have to really pay attention to the sounds and visuals to spot this one because it's so subtle. It occurs in the attic scene when Chris is looking for rats, and it's a very small detail, so you might need to get close to your screen to see it. Oh, and turn the sound up too so you can hear what gets whispered in the dark. Okay, I'll just let the clip roll and let you discover it for yourself.
Jesus Christ, Carl, don't do that.
And there's tons more hidden stuff in The Exorcist. These are the kinds of things that give movies like Exorcist, Shining, The Thing, and Nightmare on Elm Street their rewatchability, longevity, and artistic edge over the competition. If you want to know more about The Exorcist and the other horror flicks I've mentioned and tons of other movies, then go visit and bookmark the film analysis page at my website collativelearning.com, and don't forget to subscribe here to my 2 channels on YouTube. All the links are in the video description below. Bye bye!